Right after the win, when Rashad Bateman showed up in a walking boot and Harbaugh confirmed it was a high ankle sprain, the whole mood changed instantly. This wasn't just another injury. This came from a banned hip drop tackle on a play that didn't even draw a flag, and that alone sets off every alarm, especially when it happens to a guy who already carries a tough injury history and now gets hit again just as the offense was finally clicking. And the part that hits hardest is this. Nobody knows how long he'll be out. That puts the entire team on the clock, trying to figure out whether they'll need to adjust the offensive plan, shift Hopkins into a bigger role, or reorganize everything before facing the Browns. Every detail adds a new layer of uncertainty, and that's exactly why the situation is a lot more serious than it looks at first glance. When the game ended and Bateman walked out wearing that boot, it gave everyone a jolt. It looked bad right away, and nobody likes seeing an important player heading out like that. But Harbaugh tried to calm things down quickly, saying Bateman sprained his ankle and should be okay once the swelling goes down. The coach didn't sugarcoat anything. It doesn't look like a major injury, but there's still no clear timeline. It's one of those situations where the update is good, but not complete. The team needs a few days to see how his ankle responds before they can even think about whether he'll suit up next week. Still, just knowing it isn't anything structurally serious makes the air a little lighter. High ankle sprains always demand caution, but sometimes they settle faster than expected with rest and treatment. Now, it's all about watching how his body reacts and trying not to jump to conclusions too early. And while all that plays out off the field, it's worth looking back at what happened on it, because the way Bateman got hurt explains a lot about why the concern hit so fast. And that play, the moment everyone noticed instantly, shows exactly why the reaction was so strong. The injury happened in a really frustrating way. Bateman caught a pass from Lamar Jackson, pushed toward the end zone, and looked ready to put the Ravens in great position. It was one of those quick, explosive plays where everything unfolds in a split second. But at the end of it came the hit that changed everything. Isaiah Rodgers, the Vikings corner, went straight into a hip drop tackle, the same move that's caused headaches across the league. Usually that's an automatic flag, but the officials didn't throw anything. That made the whole thing even stranger, because the way Bateman hit the ground was exactly the kind of fall the NFL is trying to eliminate. Bateman later said that this was the moment the ankle went. He felt it instantly, tried to keep going, but eventually had to stop. It was one of those plays where the player knows something is wrong before any test confirms it. And the truth is, nobody overlooked that tackle. The league banned it for a reason, and that reason shows up every time a player gets twisted down like that. And that worry only grew once people started talking about the hip drop itself and how dangerous it really is. The hip drop tackle became a massive topic around the NFL for plays exactly like this. It's when a defender locks onto ball carrier's hips, turns, and drops all their weight onto the player's legs. Watching it on replay might not look dramatic, but all that force goes straight into the lower body. That's why the NFL officially banned it in 2024. After studying more than 20,000 tackles from 2022 and 2023, they found a 20% increase in lower body injuries with this technique. That number alone explains why so many of these plays ended with players limping off the field. When refs catch it, it's simple. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. But on Bateman's play, nothing was called. And that bothered a lot of people, because it was exactly the kind of contact the league is trying to remove from the game. It puts even more focus on Bateman's situation, because the play shouldn't have unfolded that way. And when a player with a long injury history gets taken down by a banned tackle and walks away hurt, the concern skyrockets. That combination makes everything more delicate, and that's why Bateman's past keeps coming up in every conversation, which leads right into the factor that makes this whole situation even more sensitive: his injury history.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important, because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
The big issue for the Ravens is that this isn't Bateman's first major setback. Since entering the league, he's missed 17 of Baltimore's first 51 games. That's a lot for a talented player with so much upside, and it makes every new injury feel heavier for the organization. In his rookie year back in 2021, Bateman had core muscle surgery and missed the first 5 games before finally getting on the field. He returned and contributed, but the following season turned into an even bigger obstacle. In 2022, he managed only 6 games before a foot injury for season-ending surgery in November. That history created a cloud over every new issue, even when coaches and doctors say it doesn't look serious. It's not pessimism, it's experience. When something has happened multiple times, people naturally get cautious. The team knows they need to be smart to avoid turning a minor sprain into something bigger. And with Week 11 right around the corner, the big question becomes obvious. Who steps in if Bateman needs extra time? The answer comes from the group that's already waiting on the sideline, ready to jump in if needed. And that's exactly where the possible replacements enter the picture. With Bateman's status up in the air, the focus shifts to who could fill his role. The first name is clear, veteran DeAndre Hopkins, who has the experience and versatility to take on whatever the offense needs without missing a beat. He already understands the system and can slide into that spot seamlessly. But it doesn't stop with him. The Ravens also have Tylan Wallace, LaJohntay Wester, and Devontae Walker ready to go. Each brings a different style and can be used in specific situations depending on the game plan. They're all familiar with the scheme, which makes the transition smoother. Having this kind of depth matters in a long season because surprises always happen. And when a wide receiver as important as Bateman gets stuck in day-to-day evaluations, the offense needs reliable options to maintain its rhythm. That's exactly what this group provides while he works his way back. And all of this only reinforces how crucial the next few days will be for Bateman. How his ankle responds will decide whether the offense needs adjustments, or if he's back just in time for the next battle. The situation around Rashad Bateman carries real weight because it mixes everything Baltimore hoped to avoid: a banned hip drop tackle that went uncalled, another physical setback for a player who's been through too many of them, and an offense that was finally hitting its stride when he went down. Now, everything hinges on how fast his ankle calms down and whether the Ravens will have to lean on Hopkins, Wallace, and the rest of the group to keep things rolling. One play changed the entire week. And now the question goes straight to you. Do you think the Ravens can keep their offense at the same level if Bateman isn't ready for Week 11? Because that answer says a lot about what comes next. No matter what happens, this situation will stay front and center until Baltimore takes the field again.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.